Okay, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the August 2nd meeting of Chatham's, August 2nd, 2023, meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. Before our clerk reads the governor's directive concerning these minutes, we have an announcement from the video staff, Channel 18. Sam, would you please read that?
Yes, a note to our Comcast Xfinity cable television viewers. Chatham Government Television will be moving on the Comcast Xfinity channel lineup. The change will occur on or about August 17th, 2023. Chatham's Government Television broadcast will move from Comcast Xfinity channel 18 and 1084 to Comcast Xfinity's channels 8 and 1070. Beginning on or about August 17th, 2023, Chatham Government TV can be viewed on Comcast Xfinity Channel 8 and 1070.
Thank you, Sam. You might as well move on to the governor's directive.
A lot to read here today.
What's that?
A lot to read today. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, GLC 30A, para 20, until March 31, 2025. This meeting of the Chatham Historic Business District Commission is being conducted in person and via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that people who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 971-112-958 #, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Channel 18, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible, and in accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue, hearing, or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
All right. Now we will establish a quorum. Let's see, we got Steve DuBois.
Steve DuBois is here.
Okay, our first alternate, and we have Vice Chair Darcy Sequin.
Darcy's here.
Okay, and then we have Clerk Sam Stribert.
Sam Stribert is here.
We have regular member Doug Grattan.
Doug Ratton is here.
Okay, and our second alternate, Tim Gilmore.
Tim Gilmore is present.
And we're not expecting Bob Burns this afternoon. So we do have a quorum. First order of business will be the minutes, and as soon as the minutes are approved, we'll move right on to the applications. And when the clerk reads your application, we ask that you move to one of the podiums on our right, introduce yourself, and please give us a brief synopsis of your proposed project. All right, the minutes that we are reviewing and approving are those of the meeting held on July 19th. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or changes they'd like to make? No?
Doug Ratton will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Ready to vote, Steve?
Steve DeBoer would vote to approve.
Darcy?
Darcy Seacon votes to approve.
Sam?
Sam Starbird votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Grattan votes to approve.
Tim?
I was not present at the last meeting, but I'll still approve the
You're the
minutes.
one that was missing, okay. All right, and Dan Silver approves, very, thank you, Tim. All right, Sam, our first application,
First application is the continued hearings, additions and alterations, 23-87, John Ricotta, care of Renewal by Anderson. Application to replace 15 windows on the structure located at 1173 Main Street.
all right, do we have the owner or an applicant here this evening? Oh, you're online,
Yes,
good
hello.
afternoon.
Yeah,
Sound.
hey, how are you doing today?
Can you get a little closer to your
Paul
mic?
with Oh, yes, this is Paul with Renewal by Anderson. Let me sit right. Is that better now?
A little bit better, yep.
Okay. So I'm Paul with Renewal by
No.
Anderson. I'm here on
No,
behalf of
can't hear it.
Ricotta.
No.
Can the video staff turn him up at all?
Put it in front
No.
of your face, please.
Yeah, I'm all the way up on my end.
Got to get closer. Closer
Can
to,
you
Quite
get
like-
closer to the mic?
How about now?
better.
That's better, yep.
If I get any closer, my face will be on the iPad. I'll try to speak up. How's that?
Okay, that's even better, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I'm Paul McLean with Renewal by Anderson. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Ricotta. And yeah, so basically there's, as you said, 15 plastic windows that we're removing and taking it all out back to the studs. We're doing new construction windows. So there's wood rot around the windows. So we're going to take the trim off as well. And everything will be brand new inside and out. And this is with Anderson's Best window, which we get approved all the time here on the Cape. It's a Fiberx. It's a composite. This composite that has, if you're not familiar with it, it's 40% wood, 60% polymers. And he's looking for a long-term solution. So that's why he contracted with us to get the job done. And they're like for like as they are now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Steve?
You're welcome.
Just a couple of questions. If you could describe the trim that you're going to put around the windows at some point, 1x5, 1x4, and if
Yes.
there's going to be a sill under each window, like an historic sill.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
We're going to do, as it sits now, brand new, but it'll be with a composite similar to AZAC. So it won't rot out again, and it will have the sill on the bottom. And whatever the dimension is, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 inch all the way around as it exists right now to keep that same look that it has.
Right. Then the last question I have, it looks like all of these windows are on the second story or maybe even the third story.
That's correct.
But it
Absolutely.
doesn't look like
Yep.
the existing windows have any divided light grills in the windows, and the first floor does. So is there any plan to make the second floor windows more like the first floor windows?
No, actually, we're gonna. This phase is for now, and then the next phase we'll end up doing the bottom to match the top.
Oh,
So, so they eventually the whole house will have no. I mean, the whole building will have no grills, correct?
That doesn't answer the question.
well,
No, he's going to change the bottom.
yeah,
I know, but that means the whole building hasn't got grills.
right.
Is that correct, that eventually the
That-
whole building will not have grills?
That's kind of the phase. But right now we're taking out windows with no grills and putting windows back in for no grills is what we're here for today.
So basically, right now, they're placing like for like.
Okay, hey.
Yeah, in the
so-
end, they won't match.
So when he comes
Like-
back for the first floor and we make him put grills throughout the building, even though he's replacing the first floor?
I think we have to take what's at hand in the
Right.
application.
That's
I mean, I guess I would rather see the divided light, the grills and the windows, you know, at least the snap-in interior grills to make it look more like the first floor and look more traditional than just the one-over-one like that. But that would be my suggestion. I'm good.
Is there any possibility of that happening?
We had a long discussion about that. I'm very familiar with dealing with, the boards, and I respect that 100%. But this is what the customer wants. And I did go around several buildings in the area, and I meant to go back and take pictures, but there's several buildings in the area that have no grills on both sides of this property. I understand the grill situation, and this particular customer does not want them, and so that's where we're at.
All right, well, let's see what Darcy says. Darcy?
I think we probably approved these windows years ago, because the building has been renovated, I don't know, 20 years ago maybe, Doug, do you know? Something like that. So we did approve what was there. But my question is, are you going to be removing the shingles around the windows and then replacing them with new shingles?
We will not have to, ma'am. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Great question. What's nice is when we replace the trimmer on it, we don't have to mess with the shingles, because when you take shingles down and put new ones up, it just doesn't look right, So that's why we're taking down all the existing trim, because it's rotted really bad. These pictures don't show some work others, but we do want to keep a nice clean look. So good question.
Okay, that's all I have.
Sam?
Well, I would vote for supplying these with grills to match the grills on the first floor. And it's unfortunate that the owner is not here, because, but usually someone, when you send a representative is empowered with the ability to carry out our wishes.
Thank you, Sam. Doug?
I as well would like to prefer the grills, but being that they're there now without them and it's replaced like for like, I would vote to approve.
Tim?
Just one question. The replaced trim, that's gonna be wood and painted white, correct?
It's going to be, it's like an AZAC. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a composite that's white, and so it won't rot out. If you want me to put wood around the outside, I'm sure I could get that approved. No problem. But the AZAC, if you're standing 5 feet away, you can't tell the difference. It's just for more of a long-term solution.
No further questions.
Okay, yeah, I would prefer to see the grills too, but I also agree with our vice chair that, replacing like for like is more or less comes under administrative, approval, so kind of a rock and a hard place, but I agree with Sam too that, I think they should match.
Well,
It seems crazy where you have the opportunity not to do it.
For sure, he's gonna have like for like on the first floor.
Yeah,
Dan?
what?
Sarah Scottson.
So if it's the board's desire, you can condition that they add grills to the structure to match the lower windows, knowing that at some point they may come back to replace the lower window units and not propose to do grills. It's entirely up to the board as to what you want the overall look of the building to be going forward.
I don't know what
I'm
those,
still inclined to say like for like, so that's my opinion. Only my
well-
opinion.
all right, well, like Darcy say, let's see what the votes say. All right?
So under application for continued hearings, additions/alterations, application 23-087, John Ricotta, care of Renewal by Anderson. Application to replace 15 windows on the structure located at 1173 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Doug?
Doug Grattan approves.
Sam?
Sam Strobert disapproves.
Okay, Darcy?
Darcy approves.
I would rather see a condition so that the grills have to be installed, so as presented, I would disapprove.
Uh-oh, where does that leave us?
You.
You?
Deny it.
All right, well, as I've told you 1,000 times, and I guess you're going to hear it again, if this situation arises, then what I'm going to do is vote for the more restrictive, I have to vote for the more restrictive option, which is to have it all match, so. So, but at the same time, too, if you would like to, you know, at some point come back, you know, and do what Sarah says.
So with a 3-2 vote, the application would be approved as presented.
What?
3-2.
So what was that again?
Well, wait a minute. Steve, I think it's
So
the other way
Steve,
around.
Steve is not the voter today. Tim is the alternate voting
Oh.
today. So with a
Okay.
3-2 vote, the application
Okay.
has been approved as presented.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Steve
no grills.
voted to approve?
No, Steve
is
is
that?
not voting today.
I don't count.
Right.
Tim is.
Tim is, so Tim is.
So he's the,
Okay, that's all right. That's okay, no problem. So what was the vote, Sarah?
The vote was 3-2. The application was approved with no
Okay,
grills.
very good,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
I got confused there.
How
Sorry.
come on the zoning board of appeals, the 3-2 is a fail?
Zoning Board of Appeals operates on a supermajority rather than a majority,
And we were only
only a majority.
Already, yep. 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 So now we got that straightened out. I couldn't figure out which one of you two would remember. Yeah. So Tim, you're filling in for Bob today, all right? Very good. Congratulations. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was a, very upstanding citizen, John, and we're pleased to do this work for him, and we'll make sure I get a beautiful job.
Okay. Next time I'll make double sure which one of the alternates are voting.
I get to vote too.
All righty, Sam?
additions. The application concerns additions and alterations. 23-89, Broadreach Realty Trust, care of Philbrook Construction. Application to replace the staircase, deck, and sidewall shingles on the gable end of the structure located at 15 Marketplace, apartment number 15D.
Okay, again, is this virtual?
So the applicant was here virtually. It appears maybe he lost
I'm
his-
here on the phone.
Okay, he is here on the
Can
phone.
you hear me?
We can hear them.
Dan,
Yes.
I have a section.
Yes, my name is Josh with Philbrook Construction. I was unable to get in the Teams today, so everybody hear me okay?
Can you ask him to?
Yeah, we just have an announcement from the vice chair.
I have a section 23 disclosure that I work with Keith Bradley, who is the owner of this property.
All righty, and what are you proposing, sir? We have our applications in front of us.
Yes, good evening to the chair and the commission. We're looking to replace the southern side of the building at 15 Marketplace. There's a second-story slider that has a staircase and a small 4-by-8-foot landing that currently goes to that slider as an exit, which is in disrepair and very dilapidated over years of use and weather. So we are proposing to demolish that structure, leaving just the two existing support posts. And while that is taken down, the landing and the staircase, we'd also like to strip that side of the building of all the existing sidewall shingles, this white cedar sidewall shingles, and replacing those as well at the same time, because they are also at the end of their service life and need to be replaced. The structure will basically be like for like. The footprint will be the same. The only change being currently there's a what I call a privacy fence around it at the top of the landing is pictured in the application. And we just like to instead replace that with the railing system that would match the staircase and landing as opposed to this privacy fencing, because there's really no need for it. Frankly, I think it's kind of ugly.
Okay, thank you. Steve, can you start us off? Steve, not Steve, Tim?
When I was looking at the area, I note that numerous of the apartments and/or condos, whatever they are, do have the privacy screen. And your reason for replacing that?
We're choosing not to replace it, just to have a more unified look with the new PVC railing. It would continue up the staircase and around the deck, as opposed to replacing it with this clapboard, privacy structure.
No further questions.
Doug?
My only question I have is the shingles natural, or are they stained or going to be stained?
They would be left natural, just a white cedar natural shingle left to weather.
Okay, all right, no more questions.
Okay. Sam?
I think this is a great improvement to this very crudely developed stairway, and it'll lead to the changes of the other stairs, and the privacy panel will soon disappear throughout the whole place. So I think they're to be encouraged and praised for bringing this structure up to a more presentable view.
Thank you, Steve. Darcy?
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I think it's going to be a great improvement, and I have no questions.
Steve?
I was gonna ask if those columns that are there, I don't know if they're 4x6s, are they gonna be wrapped in AZAC or something so they appear white and we don't see the old treated lumber? Is that gonna be faced in any way?
We did not plan to face any of the new structure to match the existing look, and also the other structures around as well. They don't have the PVC skirts on any of the staircases or the columns or the deck. So we're just going to leave that exposed to weather, just like everything else that is in this little area.
Okay, and what's the material that's gonna be on the landing, on the floor of the landing? Is that gonna be just treated lumber or some sort of,
Yes, so what we're going to do is that there's a small 3-foot landing. When we take the staircase off, there's about 8 feet total with the staircase and the landing, if I remember correctly. We're going to replace that with a gray PVC decking, which will somewhat match the existing decking around this structure. I don't want to speak for the homeowner, but the decking around this structure is also nearing the end of its service life. So I think as time progresses, that all of the deck will be changed to a PVC deck. So this will be gray to match the color that the deck is. You can't really tell from the photo, but it is like a light gray. That's what we're going to replace with. It's a AZEC. Let me see if I can find the color.
does that
It's
also
it's
include
a gray.
does that also include the stair treads going up that staircase? Is that, just,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir. Yep. AZEC slate gray is the color of the deck. I'm sure your folks are familiar with that. It's a very popular color.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think this is gonna be a nice improvement, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end product.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And I agree totally with Sam on this, Dan Silver. So, all right, Doug?
Doug Grant will make a motion under additions and alterations, application 23-089, Broadreach Realty Trust, care of Philbrook Construction, application to replace the staircase, deck, and sidewall shingles on the gable end of the structure located at 15 Marketplace, apartment 15D, as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded, ready to vote, everybody? Okay, Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Doug?
Doug Ratton approves.
Sam?
Sam Stryber approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
I would vote to approve.
Dan Silver approves. All right, very good. Thank you. Good luck. That's going to be a nice change.
Thank you, I think so as well.
So we have 23-90 Broadreach Realty Trust, care of Philbrook Construction, application to replace the rear decks and staircase on the structure located at 235 Orleans Road.
I have a Section 23 disclosure again. Keith Bradley, I work with him. I have no financial interest in this project.
Thank you. All righty. Yes, sir. While you're still there?
And I am still here on behalf of Philbrook Construction to discuss this project as well.
All righty. And what's the difference between this and your previous?
So this deck here, again, it's kind of in a similar state of disrepair. It's beyond its service life. So the easiest solution is just to demolish the existing structure and replace a like-for-like situation. Similar to the other structure, we do not plan on putting the privacy fence around the upper decking. As shown in the picture with the application, you can kind of see it's in disrepair and falling apart. There is really no need for it. It's just going to fall apart again. So we're going to go ahead and use the same railing style and just do a continuous railing from the stairs up around the top of the deck. So that will really be the only change from the existing structure, is there won't be any of that unsightly privacy fencing around the top. It'll just be a matching railing going right down the staircase.
Thank you. Tim?
I think it looks simpler and cleaner and matches the trim on the other building, so I would approve.
Doug?
I think it's a great improvement to the property, so I would vote to approve.
Okay. Sam?
This includes a frame for the lattice work up on the second floor there. If that'll all be framed properly and trimmed out, because right now it's just, just nailed on to the supporting structure, and it has no consistency or proportion or anything of that sort. Or is that not being replaced?
That will not be replaced, sir. We will only be installing the
Just the stair is what you're
railing
presenting?
system. The stairs will have the new PVC railing as pictured in the application, as well as the deck, the second story, if
Okay.
you will. The deck will just have a railing, no privacy, mesh frame as it's pictured today. That will not be replaced. Just the railing is what we'll install.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Darcy?
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, I think it's a great improvement over what's there. It's really in bad shape, so yeah, I would approve.
Steve?
Good improvement. I think it'll look good.
Yeah, and I agree with Sam again.
All right, so Doug Ratton will make a motion under additions/alterations, application 23-090, at Broadreach Realty Trust, care of Philbrook Construction. Application to replace the rear decks and staircase on the structure located at 235 Orleans Road as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Further discussion, anybody? No? Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Doug Ratton votes to approve.
Sam?
Sam Stryber votes to approve.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve.
And
Steve DeBoer would approve.
Dan Silva does approve. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you again to the chair and other commission members for your help this evening.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Okay, Sam.
23-92 Hardtail LLC, care of Benjamin Zender. Application to repaint the structure located at 174 Kroll Road.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ben Zender, and I'm here on behalf of Hardtail LLC, and I'd like to introduce you, if I could, to Todd and Molly Fideli, who are the new owners of the Chatham Boat Company on 174 Kroll Road. So they're excited to be in town, and it was a wonderful purchase. This is an after-the-fact filing. I have to offer you their apologies. They had no idea that there was an historic approval requirement for repainting their building. The upside is that you have a chance to see what it looks like in advance of having to vote on it. The building was repainted in a color that we call Hales Navy, and you have a sample. You've seen it on the site. I keep wanting to call it McHale's Navy. So, but it's, you know, in reviewing your guidelines for post-1930 modern buildings, I believe that this is a paint color. That's the sign I'll get to in 1 second. It's a paint color that is appropriate for both the style and the construction of the building. You all know the neighborhood, and you know that it is a mix of residences and office uses, and also some marine-dependent uses, boatyards, et cetera. So we think that this color, luckily, since we're asking for the approval, is a color that's appropriate, both appropriate for the use in the building and the style of the building, and also is appropriate as an historical color for the district and the region. The other improvement that they made was to repaint the existing sign. The colors are, as you can see from the submitted photos, are similar to the existing sign. The difference is that the steel support structure was painted white, and you can kind of see that in the thing. I personally, I think that probably classifies as a C4 maintenance item, but we put it on the application just to make sure that we're covered in terms of what we're asking for your approval. So with that being said, we'll entertain any questions that you have, and hopefully you'll see fit to approve. Thank you.
All right, Sam, do you want to start us off?
I approve of the blue color. I think it's a much, it just seems less warehousey for some reason. And picks up the white in the windows, or the aluminum color in the windows. And the boat company sign, Chatham Boat Company, looks great, so.
Thank you, Mr. Trevor. Thank you.
Doug?
Yeah, I think it's a great improvement on the property, so I have no questions.
Thank you.
And you're dating us with McHale's Navy, too. So.
I know, I have to tell you, I was pretty young when I was watching it, so it's,
Sure.
but, yeah.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to do that.
Tim?
Tim?
One question, are you planning to remove the posts from the older ground sign that I saw out there?
That's up to Todd and Molly.
The posts that are in the ground.
Sir, you have to go to the, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Todd,
you
come
have to
around
the
up
podium
here.
to speak.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
So the posts that are on the ground that are in the front hold the seal tour like funny face thing that we take down every day at 4 o'clock. That's like the people stand in it and they put their faces and it's like a boat and a shark and. That's,
Okay, I
that's
saw
what
it
that,
at night.
That's what that post is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Darcy?
I think it's a great improvement. Historic blue is great, McHale's Navy's blue is great. I was probably a little older than you when I watched it. So.
Yeah, I think it was about 8, so.
I think blue is a much more appropriate color for
Yeah.
a boatyard, so it looks fine. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, as far as this Dan Silver, as far as I'm concerned, it really enhances the building, and now you can see the bushes out front. Because they're not green.
Thank you,
Not
Mr.
green,
Silver.
Yeah, no, you did a great job. But you should ask the next time.
Yeah.
You're lucky, very lucky.
Only nice ones, right?
All right, so Doug Rat will make a motion under application additions/alterations, application 23-092, Hardtail LLC, care of Benjamin Zender. Application to repaint the structure located at 174 Kroll Road as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Motion's made and seconded. Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Doug?
Doug Rat approves?
Sam?
Sam Stryver approves.
Darcy?
Darcy Seacon approves.
Steve, would you approve?
I would approve.
And Dan Silver does approve. Very
Thank you
good.
all. Nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck
And
to
thank you for good choices.
So now we have site improvement, 23-091 Colonial Building LLC, care of Mitchell Kennedy. Application to replace 6 light fixtures on the front of the structure located at 641, 643, 645, and 649 Main Street, also called the Colonial Building.
All right, do we have the
Hello?
applicant or a representative here?
I'm
Either
calling in.
virtually or,
Can you hear me?
He's online.
Can you hear me?
it's on the
Hello?
phone?
Hello?
He's,
Hello?
he's attending virtually, so yes, he is here.
Okay, does he want to?
Mitchell, this is Sarah. If you could
Hello?
just speak up a little bit, it would be easier for the members to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, they can hear you.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm Mitchell Kennedy. I'm here on behalf of the Colonial Building. And it's a pretty straightforward application. There's 6 lamps on the facade of the building, or there were 6 lamps. A few of them have fallen off or gone into disrepair. And it's essentially to give a more uniform look and replace all 6 lamps with new lamps to just give it a better look overall. I believe that, yeah, that is the picture of the lamp.
Alrighty, Tim?
Just the direction of those lights, I'm wondering, are they gonna project to other buildings or pedestrians or motorists in the area?
It's a rather dim bulb. I would say it lights, I saw it in a showroom. I would say it only lights about a 2 or 3 foot radius around it. Not very bright.
Nothing further.
Hey, Doug?
Another comment, to me, it looks like a very contemporary light fixture, and I'm not sure how the board feels about that being on the Colonial Building where the previous lamps tended to be more traditional. But, you know, if the board feels that that's an appropriate light fixture, I would approve.
Sam?
I'm just taking a look here. It's a much bigger fixture than what it's replacing. And I think that's, although I'm sure the overall length of that fixture, but, and it is upstanding as it is being shown here. Mine got turned around so that it was hanging down. It is sticking up. Is that correct?
Yes, it is sticking up.
Okay.
And it's 14 inches tall. I think the image makes it look larger than it is. The ones that are there now are about, 8 or 9 inches tall. So it seems bigger than it is in the picture.
I think it relates to the shutters and the other shapes of stuff on the facade, so I'm not concerned too much about, it is a little bit more modern than a coach lamp. So that's mine.
Darcy?
To the left of the door, you have a sign, the breakfast sign. Is that light gonna fit over that sign, or is the sign gonna move? Looks like it's gonna be pretty tight.
Yes, that's Lily's Diner sign. She's agreed to move the sign inside or on her door, so it's not in the way.
Okay. Yeah, I would just ask that you make sure that they are level with each other. The right and left lights are level, not one up further than the other.
Right, yes. Chris Schultz is doing the electrical work, and he'll make sure that they're all level.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Steve?
I think I would rather see something a little bit more traditional than this. This does look a little bit modern for the face of that building, but at least they'll all be the same, because now I think it looks like a lighting store. I think there's one of everything on front of that building right now. So at least they'll all be the same. So I think I would probably prefer something a little more traditional, but if this is your choice, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, are these lights rectangular? The sides aren't beveled, are they?
No, they are rectangular.
When you look down from the top, it's rectangular?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I think that everybody that says that they're rather contemporary, but I'm not that concerned because they're underneath of the porch there, so.
What if they look better that way?
And I have to remind folks that we did approve some temporary lighting at the Gray Finch that is very similar to this. If you remember, they couldn't get their post lights, and the option that they used was almost a twin to this, so.
I'm realizing now, looking at my copy of the application, that that picture is upside down. They actually do
good.
hang downward.
Laying downward.
I thought they would.
That's good. I think it's gonna look better the other way.
Yeah,
You're right.
it will be, yeah, it won't be
Right.
top-heavy that way, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, did you hear what he said, Sam?
No.
He's flipping it like the picture
You were
that
right,
have.
they're upside down in the picture,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so
No, the
they're gonna be
picture's
looking
right.
like that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Gee, that was an incredible influence with very little action.
All right,
Hey
so-
Doug, yeah,
All right, so Doug Rat will make a motion under site improvements, application 23-091 Colonial Building LLC, care of Mitchell Kennedy. Application to replace the 6 light fixtures on the front of the structure located at 641, 643, 645, and 649 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
okay, motion is made and seconded. Further comments from anybody in the audience? Anybody online? No? Commission? Tim?
Tim Gilmore votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Rat votes to approve?
Sam?
Sam Strawbert votes to approve.
Marcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to
And
approve.
what would you do, Steve?
I would vote to approve.
And Dan Silva does vote to approve. All right, very good. Thank you, sir. And
Thank
thank
you
you for the
much for your time.
clarification on which way is up.
Yes, no problem. Thanks to all the commission. I appreciate it.
All right. All right, we're getting there.
Okay, modification to an existing certificate of inappropriateness. 23-93 Car Holdings LLC, care of Polimas Savory De Silva. Application to modify the certificate of appropriateness, site improvement, for the installation of a generator and fencing located at 1 Isaac Harding Lane.
Good afternoon, ladies. If you'll introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Lindsay Montgomery, care of Polimas Savory and De Silva.
Good afternoon, Julie Kavanaugh, Permitting and Real Estate Manager, PSD.
Very good. All right, what are you proposing?
So we had been seen before the commission back, I believe, in February for approval of a generator location at 1 Isaac Hardy Lane. You were all kind enough to approve on that location at the time. We had brought the next steps to the client after your approval, and they actually made us aware that there's another location that they'd like to explore, which would be on the opposite side of the original approved location of the property on the northeast side. They have an existing patio area with some vegetation, as well as a hardscape retaining wall that they would like to install the generator at that point as well. And it would still include some privacy screening with plantings, as well as existing fencing to match the pickleball court.
All right, Tim?
Question, the existing patio area has a stone wall.
Correct.
Is that stone wall still gonna surround the generator?
Yes.
No further questions.
Doug?
I have no questions.
Sam?
So basically, it's the stone fence that will screen the view of the generator from the street.
So it would screen from the view of Isaac Hardy, but we also will be installing, I'm not sure if I used appropriate pictures, but there is an existing white lattice fence around the pickleball court that will be extending as well so that it cannot be viewed from Main Street or the neighboring properties.
I'm not sure I
If you go up
understand
to
what
the
you mean
next-
by extending.
Number 2 photo to the right, I believe that there is a picture off in the distance. You can kind of see that white lattice fencing that's already on the property.
That's the same picture you had before, wasn't it?
It's possible. We may have reused.
Yeah, we had some other in the previous, and we have the previous approval, though I don't know what's in color. It's at the back there. There it is, the stamped plans. There it is.
Yeah, so if you, I'm not sure if you're able to pull up the previous approval application, we would also have some photos of the existing lattice fence. Perfect, there you go.
Sam?
Oh, I see. Well, not so much concerned about the internal view, the external view. It certainly has miles of growing things, so presumably will get taller and,
Absolutely.
okay. And this is set on a concrete pad?
It will be, yes. So the
So-
existing stone patio that you see in the photographs existing now will be removed and a concrete pad would be in its place.
To fill the whole circle or to
Not the whole
just be a
circle.
pad?
It would just be a pad for the generator itself, yes.
So, I have no
Darcy?
I have no questions.
Steve?
Just for a clarification, because I'm not, I don't know what I'm looking at here. In the SK1 drawing, yes, there's like a red scalloped rectangle around this generator. What is that line?
So that is the existing retaining wall that you see.
Gotcha, okay. I didn't understand what that was. I have no other questions, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you any concern about that generator being very loud? Being
it-
put in the middle of two stone walls?
I don't believe it will cause an issue. It will have a weekly, what they
Right,
call a weekly test
exercise, yeah.
Tuesday, which we always try to arrange to be at an appropriate time during the morning and very consistently. I believe that technically exercises every Tuesday at 10 o'clock for about 10 to 15 minutes. Luckily, I think with the amount of vegetation around, there should be some sound buffering as well.
The vegetation does a much better job of mitigating the noise, but,
Yeah, so if you look on the backside of that scalloped edging where the retaining wall
Right.
is, it's very dense existing vegetation.
I agree with you 100%. It was just that it is going to be in close proximity to those two walls there, so it just, but it's just, I'm not in the neighborhood, so I don't care. But I just,
And actually, I think it's further away from the abutter.
It is further away from the abutter, that's correct.
yeah, okay, yeah. Because that's the only concern with generators of the abutters,
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
yeah. Especially when they start up. Once they get running, they're not too bad, but boy, there's something else when they start up.
Could be a
Right.
little jarring.
Doug?
All right, so Doug Earl will make a motion under modification to a certificate of, to a existing certificate of appropriateness. Application 23-093, Car Holdings LLC, care of Bohemus Savory de Silva. Application to modify the certificate of appropriateness, site improvement for the installation of a generator and fencing locating at 1 Isaac Harding Lane as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Further comments? Anybody online? Anybody? Nobody's in the audience. Commissioner? No? All right. All ready to vote? Tim?
Tim Gilmore votes to approve.
Doug?
Doug Grattan votes to approve.
Sam?
Sam Strawberry votes to approve.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve.
I would vote to approve.
And Dan Silva does vote to approve. I don't think we got any administrative approvals to review tonight. All right, Doug?
Doug Grattan will make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. All right, motion is made and seconded. Tim?
Tim Gilmore moves to adjourn.
Doug?
Doug Grattan approves.
Sam Strawberry approves.
Darcy?
Darcy Sequin approves.
I vote to adjourn.
I'll vote to let us adjourn? All right,
Yeah.
very good. Thank you. Dan Silva votes to adjourn as well. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much.